There's clearly been growing anxiety within the United States government about China's rapid missile development. Actually, most of the missiles are not nuclear missiles, they're conventional missiles. Only a small proportion of China's missiles are actually nuclear armed. But the INF treaty does not just apply to nuclear missiles. It also applies to conventional missiles, any of those that have a range between 500 and 5,500 kilometers. So I think what Ambassador Bolton was acknowledging is that there's no longer just a question of a sort of U.S.-Russian bilateral standoff. There's also questions about how U.S. and China are going to interact.
Do you think that's the main focus of his concern, the fact of the absence of China or Iran, for example, when looking at this treaty moving forward? I mean, how significant is that?
Well, I think it's one of the concerns. It's obviously the Russians have also violated the treaty, which is the primary motivation for some kind of U.S. response. But this provides an opportunity both to try to rope in China to some kind of structure, or at least to have a U.S. alternative, and frankly for people like Ambassador Bolton, who are not exactly fond of arms control treaties to begin with, this also provides an opportunity to pull out of an arms control treaty.
I should just say the Russians have denied claims that they have approached the treaty at all. Moving forward then, we've heard the criticisms from Mikhail Gorbachev saying this would be incredibly serious if this treaty was to fall by the wayside. What is your assessment of whether or not that might happen?
Well, I think it's likely to happen in terms of, there is a chance before the actual the treaty is terminated, because there hasn't actually been a formal notification yet, and you need 6 months notice to terminate the treaty. But I see little inclination on the part of the administration to pull back unless there was some kind of dramatic turn of face from the Russians. I don't really see that. I don't see any evidence that the Chinese want to negotiate on this. They'd really prefer to have this to be a U.S.-Russian issue and not play any part at all. And I think, as I said, Ambassador Bolton has never been a big fan of these treaties, so I see them going forward. In terms of what kind of effect that will have, I do think we're at the beginning of a potential new arms race in both the European and Asian theaters, and that's worrying. I mean, this threat to strategic stability, both in the conventional and the nuclear realm, is dangerous.